Today, so much of the population travels that it is estimated that by 2030 there will be around 1.8 billion tourists in the world. But is it worth asking how many do so while understanding what the true meaning of travel is? Through my paper, Traveling as a Form of Knowledge and Development, my intention was to go through a brief historical excursus, starting from the first Egyptian travels up to the practice of tourism today, and to analyze the less literal but more personal and intimate meaning of traveling. Thanks to my two study trips abroad, the first in Budapest, Hungary, and the second in A Coruña, Spain, during the academic year 2022-2023, I have grown, I have developed concepts, and I have acquired knowledge that have led me to a very different vision of traveling than the one I had before. Nowadays, traveling takes on a different meaning than in the past. Think of the experiences of Goethe, for example, at the time of the Grand Tour, when travel was synonymous with curiosity, learning, discovering others, but above all, discovering oneself. He is also relevant in the context of the Erasmus project, a project that has been compared to the periods of training that aristocrats and literary men undertook in the 7th and 18th centuries. The study trips that many students undertake today and the month when the wealthiest young people in the days of the Grand Tour preferred destinations such as Italy and France for the expansion of their knowledge, although they seem to share the same objectives, in reality differ in the way they are experienced, which changes in the two experiences. Through my stays, I have come into contact with different places and contexts, and people from all over the world, but in some cases, I have not seen that desire to experiment, to discover, to create new environments and habits, but on the contrary, I have seen the desire to remain anchored to the same ordinary life in one's own country. In reality, at the basis of any real journey, there is precisely this sense of change that eventually leads to growth, especially interior growth, which is in my case has resulted in a different vision of the world around me than the one I had previously. The true traveler is the one who leaves behind his beliefs to embrace new awareness. He is the one who does not limit his experience to how he lived before living, but makes it unique by truly experiencing and understanding what the new context offers him. It is for this reason that the difference between the true traveler and the tourist was discussed, analyzing what are the substantial differences between these two prototypes. While travelers such as Goethe were able to know, to understand, and to appreciate new realities, as I myself have tried to do, today's tourists are merely seeking temporary pleasure. In this regard, reference was made to the concept of the environmental bubble by essayist Daniel J. Bernstein, according to whom today's travelers are mostly tourists who do not leave the bubble of comfort within which they live, opting for a package of services so familiar that it is as if they had never left home, even if they are miles away. Just think of how much cruise ships, resorts, and large tourist villages are invoked today, through which the tourist excludes the opportunity to get as close physically as mentally to the place visited and to those who live there. Traveling means knowledge and development for all the teachings and discovering one can make. Traveling is not just pleasure, it is a real opportunity to understand how there is no absolute truth, but that everything contributes to the formation of a world that is so varied and therefore beautiful to discover. Going on Erasmus twice has so far been the best choice I have made, not only because of the places, context, and people I have met, but because questioning myself, moving away from the classic routine, has been fundamental in seeking the true meaning of life. That of learning what we do not know and, in some way, appropriating it.